Welcome to Foxhole. Let's get you started with Logi. Every player spawns with a few items. The tab key will open a player's inventory. The top left slot is considered the primary slot. Objects stored in the primary slot can be equipped by pressing the 1 key. We'll need a hammer if we want to build a truck. Hammers can only be equipped in the primary slot. Sometimes we can find a truck in the stockpile. The seaport and storage depot are considered stockpiles. Storage depots are land-based. I'll show you how to withdraw a truck from a stockpile. While standing near the stockpile, press the E key to open the inventory. The top right shows the list of visible stockpiles. The public stockpile is open to all teammates. Just because other stockpiles are visible doesn't mean you can access them. They require special codes to access. These codes are generated and accessible to the person that creates the stockpiles. We'll discuss stockpiles further in another video. The R1 Hauler. This is a standard Logi vehicle for the Colonial faction. The Warden faction has their own version of the logistics vehicle, and they function the same. They only look different. We'll use left mouse button to click on the R1 Hauler in order to withdraw it from the stockpile. Below is the assembling process for the vehicle we're withdrawing. Press the Q key to enter or exit vehicles. The vehicle's information is stored on the top left of the screen when inside the vehicle. This includes the fuel level. While in a logistics vehicle, we can access a facility's inventory by pressing the E key. I'll return this vehicle to the public stockpile. We're going to build a vehicle. Now let's use the map to locate the refinery, then we'll gather resources to build a Logi truck. Press the M key to open the map. The refinery looks like a hammer. We can use the icons on the top left of the map screen to reduce the amount of visible information. Press E to open the refinery inventory. We need 100 basic materials, aka B-mats, to build an R1 Hauler Logi truck. The other materials in my inventory were just used to limit the amount of B-mats I withdraw. If I had those slots empty, it will fill them all up with B-mats, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I have these other additional items in there. Except for the diesel fuel. We'll cover diesel fuel later on in this video. At the garage, aka the vehicle factory, we'll build a truck. The garage also shows us the materials needed to build the vehicle. Press E to open the garage's inventory. We can now select the R1 Hauler with the left mouse button. Exit the garage inventory, then equip the hammer in your primary slot. Now face the vehicle's silhouette and hold the left mouse button down to build the truck. This will take a little while, but I'll skip ahead for time's sake. When the truck building process is completed, press L to lock the truck. Always lock your vehicles. Press E to open the vehicle's inventory. You can see the vehicle's fuel level on the top and the actions for the vehicle on the bottom. You can fuel vehicles with diesel. If you have diesel in your inventory, while standing near the driver's door of the vehicle, press Tab to open the player's inventory. Left click to store the diesel in slot 3. Now press 3 to equip the diesel and hold left mouse button to fuel the vehicle. We can also fuel the vehicle with fuel tanks. Park the vehicle near a fuel tank, then exit the vehicle. Now press the E key to open the vehicle's inventory. On the top right, click the button with the plus symbol if you're in range of the fuel tank, and if the tank is not empty. Two important things to keep in mind there. A hose will extend from the fuel tank to the vehicle and begin refueling the vehicle. Let's locate some raw resources on our map. Press the M key to open the map. I used the map legend located on the top left to limit the visible map resources. We'll focus on the raw resource called salvage for now. Salvage, aka scrap. Older players may still call it scrap, or refer to the gathering of salvage as scrapping. First, I'll gather some salvage from a salvage mine. Drive into range of the salvage mine, then press E. Left-click the button to withdraw one stack of salvage from the mine. If you hold the Shift key, then left-click, you'll withdraw 3 stacks of salvage from the mine. Continue until you fill your truck's inventory. Now let's gather salvage from a salvage field. You can use a hammer to gather salvage. It's very slow and should only be done during the very early game. The sledgehammer is an upgrade to the hammer. It gathers much faster. The harvester is an upgrade to the sledgehammer. It requires fuel to operate and has a very slow turning radius, but it gathers scrap very fast. Here's a pro tip for you. While operating the harvester, single-click the enter key to open the chat menu. Now hold down both Control and left mouse button. While holding down both Control and left mouse button, single-click the enter key. This should allow you to operate the harvester without holding down the left mouse button now. The feature is a little wonky, so you may need to hit the enter key one final time to close the chat window. This trick also works while walking or driving. It's slightly different because you're not dealing with the mouse. So it works like this. Single click the enter key to open the chat menu, hold the control key and single click the W key. Now, single click the enter key to close the chat window. You should now be walking straight ahead or driving straight ahead without the need to hold down the W key. This also works in reverse as well, or turning. Again, the feature is a bit wonky, and depending on your connection to the server, that may also impact using this feature. Once we filled our truck's inventory with salvage, now we can return to the refinery to refine this raw resource into something useful. Pull your truck close to the refinery, then press E to open the refinery's inventory. The refinery also has a public stockpile. Currently, I'm using the private setting while using the refinery. The private setting will hold the mats for 2 days and 1 hour. Oh, mats is short for materials. If you don't remove the mats before 2 days and 1 hour, the mats will be then transferred to the public stockpile within the refinery. Note, basic materials by us older players are referred to as B mats. So you might hear B mat, R mat, E mat. Basic material, refined material, explosive powder. Then there's an HE mat for high explosive material. All right, let's take a look at the R5 Atlas. It works a lot like the R1 hauler, but it holds only raw resources. The R5 hauler has a much larger inventory. Don't forget to scroll down on the inventory so you can see the bottom areas. Otherwise, you'd only be filling your truck up partially. The R1 hauler may not have as much inventory space, but it is more diverse. It can hold raw resources and manufactured goods. Don't forget to store your manufactured goods over in a stockpile. Now let's talk about the flatbed. The flatbed is very versatile, but it requires additional equipment. You'll need a crane in order to make it versatile. You use the crane to lift up shipping containers and place them on back of the flatbed truck like what I have here. And then you can use the shipping container to empty large amount of refined goods from the refinery. When doing this, make sure you right click on the refined goods and choose the option retrieve as crate. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You'll simply pull out the refined goods, but not in crate form, so they won't be reservable. Once you have your reservable crates from the refinery in your shipping container, you can then bring them over to the stockpile and submit them to your private stockpile or the public one. I always recommend a private one because then that gives you the flexibility to, if you want to work with a large organization in the future, you can then bring that as value to the organization. Plus, it's just fun to see how much cool stuff you can build and collect. And when you want to go to the front or any other front and support them, it's your choice. Do what you like. Just in case you're wondering, when you're picking up shipping containers and resource containers with a crane, no, you cannot use it to knock down a building like a wrecking ball. So you're spared that. Alright, in this segment I just wanted to show you the icons when moving the crane around over the truck. See how the icon changes? It shows the double gears, and then the double gears means you're good to either pick up or drop, but there's also a single gear that has an arrow attached to it. Now you can also use W or D while holding an item with a crane to rotate the item, clockwise or counterclockwise. You can also just grab your items right out of the factory and by hand insert them into your shipping containers. Now this is kind of slow, but I mean, if you guys were in a clan monitoring the container, loading up directly from like the MPF mass production factory or the standard factories, as well as just grabbing resources out of the refinery in crate form, then yeah, this is totally legit. You could just load up a shipping container, throw it on the back of a truck and send it out. This is something that happens early game. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show you this icon system one more time. We're just going to go ahead and pick her up. And notice when we go to put it on the back of the truck, we're not having to rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise to drop it on the truck. We can just, once the icon shows us it's good, it'll automatically, when you do the left click, it'll automatically just rotate itself and drop on the truck. So I'm intentionally putting it wrong to show you that when you left click, it automatically just rotates it onto the truck. So no problems with that at all. Alright, I went and grabbed the resource container just to show you here at a component mine and a salvage mine. We're going to go ahead and just drop it in front of the mine and begin doing our left click on the resource within the mine to draw it into the resource container. Pack it up like normal, and then we use the crane the standard way by holding down right mouse button, clicking the left mouse button to activate the crane, swinging it around to the new resource. And you can see the icons right there. See how it shows the single gear with the arrow, and then now it switches to the double gears, which you can then, again, while holding right mouse button, click the left mouse button. It'll drop the crane, the container where you need it to be, and then you can begin gathering your resources. Don't forget to do a shift left click to withdraw multiple stacks versus one stack. But once you're at the refinery, just like always, shift click and submit your resources. So the shipping container works just like everything else, except you need a crane. And now we're going to handle this vehicle with extreme care and responsibility. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are if you want to see any more helpful videos like any particular area of the game. I haven't done anything with ships yet, but I'll be willing to learn in order to bring the information to everyone else. Take it easy.